So on our video about Drake Bell, someone suggested that we do a video on the evolution of my music taste. So I thought, why the hell not? Sounds like a fun idea. Let's take a trip down memory lane. So that's what we're doing today. And buckle up, because my music taste has changed very drastically over the course of my life. So let's dive in. I'm going to start this evolution at the point where I could genuinely pick what music I listened to, which is when I got an iPod Nano in the 3rd grade. And we're going to go all the way to the present day. So let's start around 3rd grade to like 6th grade. I listened to a lot of mainstream pop. I think the first song I downloaded on my iPod Nano was I'm Too Sexy by Right Said Fred. I listened to a lot of Alicia Keys. My mom loves Alicia Keys. The first ringtone on my first flip phone ever was actually No One by Alicia Keys. Lots of Katy Perry, California Girls, Firework, loved Firework, would listen to it on the bus every morning for like a solid week. Tons of Lady Gaga and Kesha. And I did have a really big B.O.B. phase. There was this one song by B.O.B. I think it was called Don't Let Me Fall, and it was the first song I tried to teach myself on piano on this app on my iPod on the way to school every morning, but I sucked at it. Obviously, I listened to Justin Bieber. He was actually the first concert I had ever went to. It was in 6th grade. I had 2 tickets to Justin Bieber. 2 tickets and no one to go to because none of my friends liked Justin Bieber, but I had friends who I thought were my friends who did like Justin Bieber. I invite one of them. She doesn't want it. It was a pretty cool show, though. Yeah. Also listened to a lot of Taylor Swift. I had this crush on this boy in 6th grade, and I would listen to You Belong With Me on the bus. Think about us sitting on the bleachers. Like, never happened though. I listened to a ton of other stuff in between 3rd and 6th grade, but those are the highlights of that era. So let's move on. So from 6th grade to 7th grade, I started to get into more alternative music and rap and stuff. I really loved Mac Miller. He was actually the first artist I was allowed to buy explicit music from. Loved Nicki Minaj. I'd always watch the super bass music video and go, wow, look at Nicki Minaj. She's so cool. This was also around the time I really started getting into Tyler, the Creator. Yonkers was the first song I'd heard from him. I watched the music video and I thought, wow, that's so cool. I thought the beat was really cool. I really loved Tyler's voice, and I'd never stopped listening to Tyler since. So he's very special to me. Had a Lil Wayne phase. 6 Foot 7 Foot was my absolute Loved that song. I also used to really like Eminem. I used to sit down and listen to Without Me and see if I could rap as fast as he could in like 6th grade. Eminem's not one of those artists that I've kept up with beyond prepubescent years. Lots of Jay-Z, Drake, Kanye West. 3 songs. I listened to 3 songs. Otis. This was around the time I'd also gotten into Arcade Fire. Their song Wake Up. I heard it at like a family party once, and I just didn't ask what song it was. I was like nervous for some reason. I couldn't find it for a year, and it drove me crazy. And then one time I heard it in a commercial. I freaked out. I Googled the commercial. I Shazammed it from my phone on YouTube, and then I found the song. I freaked out. I shed a tear even. But yeah, I really like Arcade Fire. The Suburbs is also a favorite of mine by them. Really loved MGMT, especially the song Kids. Who doesn't? Am I right, ladies? And I really got into Paramore because the song Decode was in the Twilight movie, and I loved Twilight. So towards the end of 7th grade to sophomore year in high school was my emo phase. Lots of rock and metal. Bring Me the Horizon was a big one. 3 Days Grace was also a big favorite. I literally loved every single song by them. And the first song I'd ever learned on guitar was Never Too Late by 3 Days Grace. La Dispute. I used to love La Dispute. I think I found them on Tumblr. There was like, those graphics that would go around of like a foggy road or like a mountain, and it would say like song quotes on it. I think that's literally how I found La Dispute, and I loved their music. Tumblr actually helped me find a lot of emo music. Loved Pierce the Veil, My Chemical Romance, don't even get me started. Was obsessed with them. Another band I also loved, literally every song by them. Balance and Composure had some great ones. Citizen was also a big one. Their album Youth is so good, or at least That's how I remember it. I used to listen to it a lot. I haven't listened to it in years, but I used to love that album. So yeah, I was a pretty sad kid. But from sophomore year to junior year, I started to phase out of the aggressive sad music and started to listen to some more happy stuff. Yay! I also did listen to sad music still, just different genres of it. Really loved Lana Del Rey, Lorde, Bon Iver, don't even get me started. Oh my god. Hosier, tons of Sia. It's a shame she really sucks now. Lots of 21 Pilots. I saw them live before I really got into them, and then seeing them live actually really made me appreciate their music more. Cage the Elephant, The Neighborhood. I still listen to some of the music I would listen to from 8th grade to freshman year of high school, like Balance and Composure I still really loved, and Citizen. Listened to Youth for a very long time. I loved that album. Also listened to some Florence and the Machine. Frickin' Dog Days Are Over, baby. Yeah. And then from junior to senior year of high school, I started to circle back to some more upbeat music, some more rap and alt pop. Listened to a ton of Tyler, the Creator. The summer of senior year high school, right before college, I listened to Flower Boy all the time on repeat. Started to listen to a lot of Mac Miller again. The Divine Feminine was a big ol' album on my listening list. Kendrick Lamar was a big one too. I also really got into Anderson .Paak around this time. Really loved his production and his vocals. Obviously, he's amazing. It's so cool that he's working with Bruno Mars now. The Weeknd's Starboy album I really enjoyed. I really loved the song he had with Lana Del Rey. Cousin Stiz. Got pretty into Cousin Stiz. I found his music through a Nick Coletti Vine. No Bells. Great song. I also got really into Sales, Beach House, Cherry Glazer. I watched the Amy Winehouse documentary around this time too, and that really made me get into her music. Like, I hadn't really listened to her that much before watching that documentary, and then I was just like, holy f***, her life was insane. And her music's incredible too. There's nothing else like it. Really loved Amy Winehouse's music, and I still do. She's incredible. Ugly God. I had a big Ugly God phase. Face, Titties, Booty, Toes was on heavy repeat. I also got super into Frank Ocean. I found him because on the way home from a music festival, my friend showed me some of his music in the car, and I really loved the song Lost. So I would listen to Lost over and over and over again, and that whole album. And when Blonde came out, was that always being played? I still love it. I still will listen to it a lot. He's incredible. And senior year was when I got into Death Grips. I'll never forget the first time I heard Death Grips. It was in a car, waiting for a seat at the PJ Wheelahan's wing night. My friend played No Love by Death Grips in the car. I said, what song is this? The opening is really cool. The beat's awesome. She says it's No Love by Death Grips. I listened to the whole thing on the way home. I don't think I like it as much as I thought I did, but it turns out I love Death Grips, and I've never stopped listening to Death Grips since that moment. I also had this really big phase where I would have this Bluetooth speaker and I would bring it everywhere and just play like funny little songs. So just a few of my top songs from 2017 are Sweatshirt by Jacob Sartorius, D-Rose by Lil Pump, Deep Throat by Cupcake, and Bitch I'm Bill Clinton by Lil B. Some classics. This brings us to freshman year of college. This was from 2017 to 2018 for me. Still lots of Death Grips. I actually really started getting into them the summer after freshman year. The Powers That Be was my favorite album by them. For the longest time, I would always play that album over and over and over and over and over and over. I didn't get aux that often. My top song of 2018 was Say Hey Kid. I also got really into Brockhampton freshman year of college. A lot of people at my college listened to Brockhampton, but I'd actually first found out about them through my internet friend. Lots of Gus Dapperton, some more Interwave again. I went to film school, so none of this is really that surprising. Temperex and St. Vincent. I actually found St. Vincent's music through someone's project in one of my first film classes. The Party was the song, and I love that song. I would listen to it all the time and try to play it on the piano. Beautiful song. Hers, really loved Hers. Kuko, love me some Kuko. And Danger Incorporated. Their song Online was the first song I'd ever heard from them. I think I found them in Discover Weekly or something, but when I heard that song, I played it nonstop and got super into their music. I really love how the two vocalists' voices sort of contrast each other. I think it's really cool. More Sales. Ski Mask, the Slump God, obviously. I also got super into Joji freshman year summer. I remember I heard World Star Interlude and I actually immediately went and drove to Guitar Center 30 minutes away to buy an uke. And that's actually when I started to try to make my own music. And let me tell you, it sure did stink like a big old pile of shit. And not in a good way. I actually mean that. I think it was genuinely horrible. And Swimming by Mac Miller. Oh my God. This album, there was no skips at all. I really love that album. I would listen to it all the time. I think sophomore year of college was probably the peak of my college career. I was living my best life. Listened to a ton of Tisa. So my boyfriend actually found Tisa through Zach Fox on Twitter from his freestyles, and we were instantly hooked to his music. We would play Dip all the time. I think he's so fun and talented, and I think his sound is so unique. This was around the time I got super into Dominic Fike too, specifically his song She Wants My Money. Love that song. I like the song Three Nights too, but honestly I think I like She Wants My Money more. I just really love the groove and the freaking stuff. JPEG Mafia started to really get into JPEG. I just really love his production and how he samples things. His delivery is incredible. His lyrics are really good. I got really into Willow at this time. I'd heard her song Wait a Minute and I really liked it. The Willow album. Really loved this album. Got into Jack Stauber. I actually found him through TikTok. Rico Nasty. Love me some Rico. Love her sound. Love her punk influence. I think it's super innovative. James Blake's album Assume Form. Come on. How could anyone not listen to this? This is a masterpiece. If anyone made an album for me and it sounded like that, I think I would cry and never do anything else because my life will be complete. That's how good this album is. Still bump Tyler a lot. This was around the time Igor came out. I really liked the song What's Good. I still liked Flower Boy more. I think Igor is like a little better, I guess, but I just like Flower Boy more because it's a personal taste thing, I guess. I don't know, I just like it more. Got really into Vince Staples, specifically the songs Yeah Right and Fun. I really loved the album Panda Bear and the Grim Reaper. It was so cool to just listen to with headphones and take a nice nature walk. It's a beautiful album. It's really interesting. And this was around the time I had also started listening to MF Doom. I'd actually found him through his song Hello Governor, and I instantly loved him because he sampled Hello Governor, the Regular Show episode. My favorite episode of Regular Show, Hello Governor, he sampled it. And I was also really into the singles Chance the Rapper was releasing before the big day. It's funny because I really wasn't that big of a fan of Chance the Rapper before he started dropping those singles. It was just like, I don't know, I just wasn't really that into him. But The Man Who Has Everything, I would listen to so much. And Groceries with Tisa. Are you kidding me? That song is so good. Both of those songs are incredible. And then he gives us The Big Day. I actually wanted to throw my phone against the wall. This brings us to junior year of college. This was from 2019 to 2020 for me. So you guessed it, got sent home early because of the pandemic. When we got sent home, I would take a ton of nature walks and listen to new albums and stuff every time I took a walk every day. I kept coming back to an obscene amount of 100 gecs. 1,000 gecs I would listen to all the time, probably every day for a majority of 2020. Like 3 of my top 5 songs of 2020 are 100 gecs songs. I also really love Drive 45. Their production is what really caught my attention. It's just so playful and like fun and sort of childlike. Gotta check it out. Check out Artificial Sweetener. Love that song. And around this time was also when I got super into Glass Animals. I found them through a remix of their song Gooey. Then I listened to the original and I really liked the original. Then I listened to the album How to Be a Human and I just loved it. I listened to it all the time. I actually took a lot of inspiration from their vocals in my music, especially in the song Online Class. My song. I did it. I also got super into Monty Booker. His production is so cool. I love the Foley. I actually found his music through Colors, the song that trended on TikTok that had that one cringy video to it that everyone made fun of, but the song was so good. And I found a bunch of other songs by him through finding him on TikTok that I really loved, and I still do love him. I got really into the internet around this time too. Girl and Palace Curse are 2 of my favorites. They're both incredible incredible. I was still listening to Death Grips. At this point, I was listening more to the Money Store, though. Bubbles Buried in This Jungle was also a big one I used to listen to a lot. I would even say it's probably my favorite song by Death Grips ever, maybe. I just really like it. I feel like I always revisit it. Amine, Kate Renata, obviously. I love Kate Renata. And Remy Wolf. Remy Wolf! I found her music at the very beginning of quarantine. I'll never forget it. I was listening to my Discovery Weekly on a little walk, on a little trail, heard the song Woo. Wasn't sure how I felt about it at first, but I just couldn't stop listening because her vocals were just so incredible that I had to go check out her other music, and I fell in love instantly. It's all so good. Her voice is, I don't even know what to say. It's just so good. It's that good. And this brings us to senior year of college until the present day. Senior year of college, pandemic was still obviously happening, so I was still virtual and had a lot of time to listen to music. So that's what I did. Got really, really into Sophie, literally 2 weeks before her passing. Loved the song Face Shopping. Unbelievable production. Instantly became a fan, and I still really love Sophie. She was also such an amazing producer. I had no idea until recently that she'd produced some of my favorite Vince Staples songs. Still listening to a lot of Gex, obviously. And I've been listening to more experimental stuff lately, that's for sure. Machine Girl, Earth Eater, big Arca phase. Really, really love Stretch 2. I recently found this one musician. I literally don't know how to say it. I don't even know how to search it, so I'm just going to show you. Their name is literally in Wingdings, and I just really like their music, so check them out. I think they're only on Spotify. And this is when I get really into The Garden. Used to not be a big fan. The first song I'd ever heard by The Garden was Call This Number Now, like years ago, and I was like, this is like fine. But recently, I've been listening to Kiss My Super Bowl Ring, and I love that album. Lurkin is probably my favorite song by them ever. It's so good. I just think their sound is so unique. I think it's so fun how they will just completely switch the sound. Like they'll just like have a song and then they'll just change how it sounds completely and then they'll just go back to how it sounded before. I've also been listening to a lot of music by this artist named Cobra. I really love the bass in her music. Love it. And I think her voice is really cool. It's just a really cool style of music. It makes me want to stomp around. So check out Cobra. Call Me If You Get Lost was on a heavy rotation, especially when it first came out. It's so good. The production is, I think, Tyler's best production ever. Whose Rules? Got super into Whose Rules. His song Moth Meme. My friend freaking sent it to me. I said, who is this person? They're so underrated. They deserve so much more attention. And now I have a song with Whose Rules. Now we make music together. Smiling with No Teeth by Genesis Owusu. Oh my God. Incredible album. It's so cool how he plays with all these different sounds. I really love Centerfold, and I really love Don't Need You. So yeah, those are definitely not the only things I'd listened to from senior year to college till now, but those are just some of the highlights. As you can see, my music taste has definitely changed from third grade till now. I used to listen to a lot of mainstream pop, and now I listen to a lot of noise and mainstream pop and rap. It's interesting because I feel like the types of music that really have stuck with me and had an emotional impact on me the most throughout my life are the aggressive sounds. I just had such a personal connection to music during my emo phase when I would listen to like really loud, aggressive stuff. And now I feel like I love music more than ever when I'm listening to stuff like Death Grips and frickin' The Garden and stuff like that. I think it's really cool too how we're growing up in this world of streaming, so it makes it so much easier to keep up with new music and just listen to more music in general because you don't have to like buy every song you want to listen to. You can literally just have this big chunk of music at your disposal. And it makes me wonder if our generation will be more open to new music trends and stuff the older we get compared to old people now. What are you listening to now? What do you want me to talk about next? Leave it in the comment and maybe I'll do it. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe to Songpsych. We upload every week and it's really good and we work really hard and we're good at it. So thanks.